So, something I'm really trying to work on is giving up control. For example, I'll have a plan that I want to accomplish. For example, like this video, and my cat's just meowing and interrupting. But this sort of really highlights the point of what I'm trying to make. I'll make up plans or ideas for a day in my head, and then different things will happen that interrupt that day. And in the past, and still now, but particularly in the past, I would get very overwhelmed and annoyed and frustrated about the thing that was changing. So, for example, let's say I made a plan to, do a day of writing, and then my mother calls up and there's like a surprise party, or my brother wants to hang out, or my wife has a bunch of jobs that she wants me to get done, or something goes wrong in the house, for example. My day now has to change, and it used to take me a lot of time to be able to process that change. As in, I had an idea of what I wanted to have happen, I had an idea of what was supposed to have happened, and it changed. And this sort of change between my expectations and the new reality really got to me. I'm sure that a lot of you guys that are struggling there with anxiety or depression or some other sort of mental affliction can probably relate to that, because I know personally, I find that when things are, in order, as in like, I've worked out what I want to have happen, I've worked out what's happening, it's just, my day just goes by a lot more smoother. Things just sort of seem to slot in and make sense. But when they don't go to plan, there's that throwing up in the air and change. And I guess from my own mental state, it sort of proves my anxiety right, that of course things changes, of course thing happens, of course all of this stuff, will go wrong. And that sort of sends me down this rumination spiral. So fast forward to today, and how I try to deal with this now. I'm overtly aware that things can change in my day. So instead of trying to control the day, I'll still have plans. I'll make plans the night before of what I'm going to do the next day. But I know that things pop up, and rather than sort of fight against it or, worry about it or, resent the fact that things are changing, what I'm trying to do now is accept the change and sort of look to the positive. So for example, today I was going to do some exercise and then finish editing How to Get Your Shit Together, my next book. However, plans have changed. My brother's now coming over, and quite a bit earlier than I expected, and that's great. Why is that great? Well, now I get to spend more time with my brother. So what's the positive of this situation? Well, I get more family time, I get to have fun, I get to do all of this other stuff that I wouldn't have gotten to do today. What's the downside? Well, I don't get to do what I had planned. But rather than being worried and upset or annoyed about that, I'm now going to go, well, I accept the change and look to the positive. What does this new situation give me? Does that make sense? What does this change situation that I didn't plan, that I wouldn't have expected for? It's okay. What does it give me now? What can I be grateful for? What can I be happy for? And then I suppose moving forward, now I'm going to make new plans for tomorrow or the day after, where I can fit the plans that I had in for today in then. It's all about, I've sort of realized that it's all about learning to just go with the flow and accept, because really you can't control everything. I know that I can't control everything. I have so many ideas and so many plans and so many things that I want to get done, but then life happens, and that's okay. Things change, and that's part of the beauty of it. I know that conversely, no matter how I try and force things to happen, eventually, even if I do force it, then I'm pushing against other people's will, and other people get annoyed and their plans go astray, and then it just creates this tension that isn't quite, helpful to anyone. And I'm not saying just to like follow whatever anyone else says, and if someone wants to do something with you, you should drop all of your plans. That's not at all what I'm saying, because that obviously leads to another set of issues, that you become this sort of doormat of a person. Now, don't do that. If you've got a standards or things that you want to get done and that you have to get done, stick to those plans. But sometimes things change and they're beyond your control. When that happens, I've at least learnt to accept those changes and keep pushing and moving forwards. You know what I mean? This same thing can apply to, any situation. For example, let's say you go to a restaurant and, it's not open that day, you have to go to a new one, or the food comes out and it's different, or, you had plans to see a movie and it's no longer out at the movies and you have to see a new one, or, little mundane things like that. They can lead to positives. They can lead to new experiences that you would never try. Some of the best experiences that I've had have come from my original plans being altered and changed, and sort of just having to go with the flow or follow someone else's idea. One thing that I tried for like a year there, which really sort of expanded my food horizons, was when I went to a restaurant, I would ask the waiter or the waitress, what's the most popular item on the menu? And regardless of what it was, I would just eat that. And that way I got to experience, what you could sort of arguably think would be the best food at that place. And, it took away that control, and it sort of helped me to let go of what I was ordering and experience new things. If you sort of struggle with this, that might be a good little place to start. Just when you go to a place, just, hey, what would you recommend? What's the most popular thing? And eat that. And even if it's something that you've never thought of before, or that you initially go, oh, I'm not sure, try it, because you might find something that you actually love. And from my experience, it's led to a bunch of positives in my life. So give it a shot. The final thing that I want to say is that if you're getting something out of my videos and you're liking them, please click that like and share button, and also subscribe if you want to hear more, because it really does help me to know that you're out there and know that you're appreciating what I'm doing. So thanks.